Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chicagoland Baseball Chronicles. You know the business. If you woke up this morning, you winning. We got a good one today, Bill. We got a good one. We got my boy.
Yeah, I'm
A
really
real
excited to
shot
see.
town legend.
Really excited to kick off season 2 with the authentic Chicago original. Touchdown at a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
places: CVS, Jackson State, the Lynch Street Legend, Philadelphia Phillies, Colorado Rockies, Atlanta Braves, and I just found out you finished it up with the Chicago White Sox.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
I got a chance to sleep in my own bed and drive down to Comiskey one day. I was like, man, this is what it's like playing at the crib. I loved it,
Right,
even though it was
right.
short. It was sweet, man. It was sweet.
Cool, cool. Well,
So
Mom, we're gonna jump.
I started out at. Go ahead. I was gonna say, I pitched at the championship at Sox Park and ended up my career at Sox Park in high school and in the
360,
oh, good
pros.
business.
So
full 360,
full circle, baby.
full
Yep.
circle.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Bill.
So what we're gonna do, Marv? We're gonna touch in on all this: CVS, J State, SWAC, MLB. We're gonna touch in on all of this, but I think what's really important, man, is your career after MLB, your career off the field, and you've been one of the guys that's really active about teaching the game the proper way, sharing your love and your passion for the game. I remember being out at Ho Chunk one day, and your son was pitching on the mound, and you were right there, and why is that really important for you? I know you founded the Marvin Freeman Youth Foundation. Why is it really important for you to reach back, to teach the game, and to touch these young ball players?
Well, I look at it from the situation when I was growing up. I used to always want to hear from the older cats, the guys that played the game that can give me some insight, some tips on saving me, a lot of anguish and going off in the wrong directions on different things, not only on baseball, but other things in life as well. And a lot of times I run across a lot of single moms that's trying to help their sons, become men. And it's just hard for a woman to really delve down deep into her son's emotional state and really give him some of the things that a man can give him. Not saying that they can't be done, but you need to have that male role model. So I saw a need to just give what I had to the young pitchers and young players that I come across, because I know that so much of the OG, education that I got, it came from dudes on the block, uncles, you know, older guys that played the game, older guys that played both the game of life and baseball. And I just wanted to be able to say that when somebody leaves my presence, they shouldn't have thought that they didn't get something out of it. If I can give something away, especially to some of these young cats that got the same dreams and goals I had at that age, how valuable is that? And what is it going to cost me? It's joy for me to be able to do this, and I enjoy every minute of it. I just can't let it go.
Great.
Yeah, that's
I
good
know you
business.
made a huge impact for us here in Chicago. You were always ready. Anytime me or Rook reached out, hey, we got a guy, Marvin, need you to look at him. We're going in the tournament next week. Can you just stop by the park? And this is no pay. This is just, we look up, you coming through the park. You coming through Jackie Robinson Park. Where's the kid? Let me put my hands on him.
Right.
I know you're down in Atlanta doing the same thing, really active with the MLB Breakthrough Series. So, man, I had to off to you for reaching back and giving some real proper instruction. I think pitching, we all know, is the most important part of the game, but in many respects, it's kind of the most misunderstood part of the game.
Absolutely.
Oh, it is.
Absolutely.
That's where a
Hey,
lot of our
Marvin.
young guys, we fall off as pitchers. I was going to say our
Go
young guys, we fall off as pitchers because once we get 13 and 14 years old, we're trying to figure it out on our own. And if we don't have that accurate information, man, it's just almost impossible. So we go play shortstop. We play the outfield. We play other positions that we don't have to have that burden of every pitch being on our shoulder and being able to execute every pitch. So, when it gets difficult, I like to give guys a plan, something that they can, go back to. They practice, and it'll translate over into the game. So that's the main thing about me teaching pitching. A lot of guys can't look at the intricacies and the details of what a kid is doing right away, and figure out it may not be, we used to always get the same advice: bend your back, reach out, stuff like that. It's important you see that with your eye, but why is this kid ain't bending his back? He might be landing in the wrong spot. So just being able to recognize the specifics and give that information immediately, and it makes a difference, as soon as the kid does it, it's a joy for me when I see them have success, and then I see things that I tell them that they can execute, and it makes them a better player.
Cool.
Hey, Marvin, I have a question too. With pitching with the youth, as far as like other than instruction, what type of calisthenics or something they do to keep in shape for a young pitcher that has aspirations of, taking it to another level? What's the main thing they need to do other than that? I mean, what do they need to do for preparation?
Well, a lot of times, now more than ever, everybody is basing everything off velocity. And so you see all these kids lifting weights and doing stuff that's not going to translate over into how they move on the mound. You can be as strong as a bull. I ain't never seen Schwarzenegger get nobody out in the big leagues, and he was Mr. Universe. So, it's more than just strength, It's knowing how to have rhythm and timing, how to put all that together. And you can't get that, just by playing a little bit. You got to play a lot of baseball. I play strikeout every day. You know how we used to do. That was our training. And we trained based off what we saw on TV. And we're going to go imitate whoever team was on there. You had to be that whole team. You had to pitch like everybody that pitched that day.
Absolutely.
You had to switch hit. You had to do everything you saw on TV. That was our training. And we worked on that every day. I mean, if we went up there and batted like Pete Rose, hey, we had to look like Pete Rose. So, I got some of my biggest hits imitating guys in the big league just from playing strikeouts.
I'm a witness.
Just getting in the batter's box and drawing back on those experiences.
Right. Hey, I got one more for you, and we're going to get to you now. We're going to get to the good part. How did your start up in Chicago from day one? Over in the pocket, way over in the pocket. Tell me from the pocket, and then take me on, son.
Okay. It's funny because playing in the pocket, we didn't have no little league teams over there. We had a lot of vacant lots that we would turn into a baseball field. So 12, 13 years old, we just playing sandlot ball. But I got a chance to we had to walk from 71st and Dobson all the way over to South Shore Little League. That was our first experience with Little League. Andre Morgan was my first coach. He was like 17, 18 years old.
South Shore.
He was 13, man. South Shore, me, Trent Hubbard, all my boys from Hearst High School. We had to walk like 6 or 7 miles just to get to the park up on the railroad tracks. That was short, right? And I pitched over there, and then Mr. Sharp. You remember Mr. Sharp, right? Mr. Sharp
sir.
over there on
the
South Shore. He turned me on Joe.
And Mr. Gibbs.
Gibbs, Freeman, all them guys, They was like, man, we got this skinny dude over here throwing gas, man. So Mr. Haley was like, bring him on over here. Let me see if I can put him in the big show. And I pitched over on the 108. Right there off Halsted, right? Morgan. Over the Morgan, right?
Morgan.
Right. And
Morgan.
I was a young cat, and all them other older guys was over there, Brian Neighbors and all them guys. They was over there getting down. I was watching them. I was like, man, that's, I can do this right here, right now. And so that's where it started at South Shore Little League, then over to Jackie Robinson West, then out to Freeman on 112, right there off the expressway.
Ada Park.
What up?
Ada Park.
Yeah.
Maple Park. That's us.
Yeah.
And
absolutely,
Faulkner.
Man. And then, from on
Mr.
and on
Beard.
over to CVS. And, by me being a pitcher, Bo Rab, I probably played on 15 different teams in one summer.
Right.
Whoever
I know
needed
you played.
arm was like, go get Freeman, man.
Right. I remember I remember one incident right before we both went to college, and I came and played with you guys, and we played in the state championship. True story, Bill.
What's that,
Marvin
Bob?
hit a home run, man. He hit a home run, man, in the state championship on his left.
Clutch.
On his left.
Clutch.
Dude, what we won the game, I'm telling you. On his left. He pitched and he hit a home run.
Hey, I had no
on regulation field, Illinois.
I had no aspirations of being a hitter.
Home.
Yeah.
So Mark, you touched on CVS. You over at CVS, and you guys had some great teams over there at CVS. Man, what was the level of competition like in the public league when you were coming through CVS? Who were some of the rivalries you guys had?
Well, our biggest rivalry was probably Simeon, Corliss. You know, the teams that all the guys that left their neighborhoods to go play on the good teams. We went, you know, I was supposed to go to Hearst, right? And all my boys at Hearst, you know, I had chewed them up so much on strikeout. I was like, man, y'all gonna give me a scholarship if I go to CVS and I face y'all. So that was my motivation. Get out the hood, go play somewhere where it was some good talent, like, you know, schools that had ball players. It was only about 3 or 4, 5 schools then that even gave us a game, you know, Clemente, them guys like that. But, you know, most of the good players migrated to, you know, the bigger schools that had the best talent. But at CVS, it was just, you know, we had a reputation when I got there. Guys like Marlo Hale and Charlie Scott and, you know, players like that, you know, inspired me coming in. I was like, man, them dudes is good. Hell, they was pummeling people. And I didn't even play baseball my freshman year. I played baseball my sophomore year at CVS. And just
didn't
by
know
watching
that.
them, I didn't. Yeah, man, I only played 3 years. And my sophomore year, our coach, Saul Lazinski, he was something else. You know, he was he let me pitch like the last game of the year against Hearst. Hearst was the team that I told you I was going to get famous off of, which I was right. I struck out like 12 or 13 against them, and he was like, oh, you're going to pitch a lot next year. So really, I only played 2 years of high school ball. Just because it was so many kids at CVS, it was a lot of talent, very few spots. And when I did get a chance to get on that field, I wasn't coming off. So it was kind of strange, my path up through high school baseball, because you would figure I would come in playing as a freshman, you know, and move on from there. But I was about 5'7", 5'8" when I got to high school. So skinny, little, you know, I was like, man, I ain't no athlete. And then I shot over the summer to like 6'1". But I learned how to pitch, playing strikeout and playing one-on-one with my boys in the hood, man. That was my training. And that's what I tell guys, you know, it's all about getting your repetitions in no matter how you get them. Because when you get on the field, it's still you see the ball, you hit the ball, or you try and make the hitter miss the ball. So that's going to always play wherever you're at. But you have to be able to, like, master those talents by playing a lot. And that's what I try and get across to my young pitchers now is that, you know, when you do a lesson with me, you still got to go home and practice 4 or 5 days out the week. You know, you can't just think, okay, I'm straight now, because you're going to forget it.
So Mark, you say you only played 2 years at CVS, but you still get drafted out of high school, right? You still got drafted in '81, right?
Yeah, I did. Ninth round by the Montreal Expos. And, you know, it was a funny story. I remember as it was building up, getting closer to the draft, I would go out and pitch, and it would be scouts, you know, on 87th, right there at that Jesse Owens field right there. You know how you can be right behind home plate.
Yes.
And then you almost be on the bus stop on 87th Street too, right?
Right.
So I called Saul Lazinski. I called Salt out to the mound, right? I was like, man, come on out here. He came out. He was a little nervous because the scouts was out there. He came out and he was like, what's going on, big guy? I said, go back there and tell me how I'm throwing, man. You know, I ain't never seen no scouts behind home plate, so I wanted to know what was up. And I ended up getting drafted out of CVS, but the Expos didn't come correct, so I knew that my next step was to go to Jackson State. I wanted to go somewhere hot in the South where the brothers was at.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's touch on that Jackson State experience a little bit. The SWAC, you down there with a lot of big time ball players, Hall of Fame coach. What was it like being down there at J State during that time?
It was eye opening for me when I first got down there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen at them guys, talk noise on the field during the game. I'm thinking I'm going down to it's gonna be like, we're gonna be competitive, but them guys talk so much shit, man. It was it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I am home, man. I'm home. And when I got down there, Oil Can, he was just getting drafted, so he would come back in the fall, take me under his wing, tell me how to do this and do that. My man Scipio Spinks was the pitching coach down there, man. And
Scipio.
That dude, man, was unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. You got a big leaguer that's teaching you how to be a big leaguer. You don't get a chance to kind of cash in on those type of opportunities. And that's another reason why
absolutely
I try and be so open and honest with the kids that I work with, is because I have somebody like Sip to tell me, hey, man, look, you ain't going to make it to the big leagues if you're a punk. You got to knock somebody down. You got to come up and in. I was like, Sip, I'm already doing that. He was like, well, you good.
Yeah, motherfucker. You hit me. You hit me, dog. Yeah.
They got away from me. I didn't know what I was doing then, but they worked.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be your boy. You dope pop me a couple of times, Go ahead, man.
Bo Rab, when you're in the box, you ain't got a friend.
I heard that.
Yeah, so down
it.
at Jackson State, man, my first game I pitched, and I couldn't just throw the ball and expect to have success. So I got lit up a couple times, right? I remember being on the bus one time after I got lit up, talking about, man, I'm quitting baseball. They beat me so bad. University of New Orleans beat up on me so bad one game, man. I was like, I took my uniform off. I was on the bus damn near crying, man. Coach Brady was like, hey, man, you got to throw more strikes, dude. I thought I could just come down there and throw cheese by them guys. But them dudes was 20, 21, 22 years old. So they made me learn how to refine myself as a pitcher. They made me get a better understanding of how to prepare myself to pitch. And having guys like Sip and Oil Can that was like fresh off the big league stage or on their way to the big leagues and tell me how to carry myself in a way that was going to give me a chance. I was in a great situation. Looking back on it, it was something that I wouldn't trade for the world. I was very fortunate enough to get drafted out of Jackson State in the second round. And, I was in the big leagues 2 years after I got out of college.
That was a beautiful thing. I was right there. But tell me this here, Marvin, when you did get drafted by the Phillies, it was me personally. I'm getting off track a bit, but me personally, when you got drafted and Stan got drafted, it was like I got drafted, because you my boy. That's how it felt with us. but really, but anyway, when you got there, you were minor league pitcher of the year, brother. Tell us about that season. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, that was 1986, right? It's funny because going into the season, I was just coming out of I was on my way. Well, going into the season, I had just went 0-1-7 the year before in Double-A. So I was like, man, what's going on with my career? And this was only after a year. And my wife was pregnant. And the baby was due in September, right? So I went on the 40-man roster. And so that meant that I was going to have to pay for this out of my own pocket. I had to get some big league insurance, So my motivation was, man, if I pitch my butt off and I'm in the big leagues by September, I got full coverage. So that was my motivation in 86. Got called up September the 15th. And got my first major league win against the Mets that year. But I ended up going 15-6 in Double-A, and every start I was just thinking about, man, I gotta try and get to the big leagues this year. So I put a sense of urgency behind myself. I wasn't happy going to the park just to be, in pro ball. When I got there every day, I had almost like a chip on my shoulder. Like, I got to make this happen. I got to get out of here. I talked to a lot of guys that I played with back in the day, and they tell me that the attitude was like, they knew that I was going to make it to the big leagues because I didn't have no plan B. My plan B was make sure plan A work out. And so that's what my motivation was. I don't give that type of advice to the kids I coach. I always tell them to have something that they can be, have evidence in. If you think you're gonna get drafted and it ain't no scouts at your game, what you basing that off of? So if there's evidence, hey, go for it, dive in with both feet. But if it ain't no evidence, you better be getting that degree. You better make sure you're getting that education because everybody ain't gonna play. I mean, I'm the last.
Absolutely.
Am I the last public league pitcher to be in the big leagues? And that was 1981. We looking at 40 years later. We still looking for a black pitcher out Chicago Public League to get in the big league. So that's how rare those opportunities are. So if you get a shot at it, I mean, you got to be all in, and that's the only way that I feel like you're gonna make it in this game. If you go in it hoping or, wishing things are gonna work out, it's gonna be a lot more difficult.
Cool.
Absolutely,
so
Marvin.
You break in with the Phillies. What was the experience like with the Phillies? You break in with the Phillies with the Major League Ball Club, and how did that go for you?
It was cool. When they told me I was going to big leagues, we was in the process of being in the playoffs. So we was in Double-A. We was going for the Eastern League Championship, and I was just hoping. I was just wanting to be over because as soon as the season was over, I was going to the big league. So they beat me out of 2 more weeks of big league pay because we made playoffs and we ended up winning it. But I was like, man, I should have been in the big leagues 2 weeks ago, But Philly was cool, but I knew it wasn't going to be – I knew it wasn't home for me because when I got traded to the Braves, it was like a whole different, feeling that came on me, getting off the plane, seeing all them brothers in the airport, in the ballpark, getting to the field, playing on grass. Philly was AstroTurf, and I'm throwing singles, bouncing them into the gap, So, it was not set up for me to succeed in Philly, but it was a starting point. And again, I got an opportunity to get on and move on somewhere else and trick them for a few years till they figured out, hey, this brother ain't got nothing left. And then they sent me to Colorado. I tricked them for a couple of years, and it was like, man, I look up, I got a 10-year career under my belt.
No,
that's right. That's right. You winning, baby. You definitely winning, kid. Hey, man, you a champion too, brother. You a champion, man. How was that experience, man, of just like going through the playoffs, man, and then going to the World Series? A brother from the pocket. Brother I played with, go straight to the World Series. I know how we felt watching you, but how did you feel, man?
It was incredible, man. Everything that you dream about when we playing strikeout, you putting that situation in your head. We practice all these situations. Bottom of the ninth, Freeman on the mound. He facing Hank Aaron or whoever the greatest player was at that time. You facing him because you're trying to put that own self-imposed pressure on yourself to see if you're going to be mentally tough enough to make it work. And so just to practice that, you think it's preparing you for that moment. But, boy, when you get out there and it's 50, 60,000 people tomahawk chopping and screaming so loud you can't even hear your boy sit next to you this close in the dugout screaming in your ear, man, this is great, and then the adrenaline and you're the only game in the world that's on TV. Everybody in the world is watching this last game of the year or this last series of the year. So everything you do is magnified times 1,000. And so you try to pretend like it's just a regular game. You hear so many guys like, well, I'm just going to take it as a regular game. It's impossible. it's impossible and it's hard to describe, but the goosebumps that I'm getting now should just let you know how exciting it was for me to be a part of it. And again, man, I post so much baseball stuff. People like, man, why don't you get tired? I'm like,
Yes.
I wasn't supposed to be here, dog.
No.
I ain't supposed to
No.
be here.
Keep it
So
going.
every video I got, and I know my homies from Chicago, they didn't see all of my games. They might have seen a couple games, and I post this for y'all, man.
Keep them coming.
When I put it up
Keep
there, I'm
them
like, I wonder if
coming,
they see
man.
me knocked off the mound last week in New York. Let me
Keep them
put this
coming.
up. Did they see my home run? So that's why I do that, because
Keep them
again, like I
coming.
said, the odds of us making it to the big leagues and just playing one game is like winning the lottery. And how many guys that won the big bonanza? So it's a rare
Absolutely.
opportunity. I want to share
Absolutely.
it, and I want to share my knowledge with guys that I come
Absolutely.
across, and again, just try and help them, see if they can reach that same level.
Absolutely.
Marv, I want to touch on your time in Atlanta for a minute. You when you leave Philadelphia, I think they trade you right around the trade deadline. They send you to Atlanta, and you find yourself on a pitching staff with 3 Hall of Fame guys. What is that like to be on a staff with 3 guys like that make it to the Hall of Fame, and to just learn? Or were you able to learn from them, and were you able to improve your game being on that staff?
Yeah, it was back then. Them guys was like younger than me. Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz. Them guys was a couple of years younger than me. So when I got over there, I was like, man, y'all slip. I said, y'all slip up, dog. I'm getting one of your spots, right? So. But when I got over there, the Braves called me in the office. They said, look, you're gonna be relieving over here, dog. You ain't. Don't worry about trying to start. If you start, it'll probably be on another team, and that's a whole nother story in itself. But when I got there, they told me I was gonna be set up, man. I get a chance to close a few games, so I was good with that, because I knew if they had all this pitching, I wasn't gonna have to be wore out, so I can kind of learn on the spot, get an opportunity to see what success looks like. You forget we had Steve Bedrosian and Mark Davis in the bullpen. They won Cy Young awards too. So we had 5 Cy Young award winners on the team at one time. And if you can't learn something about pitching and getting guys out, and you got 5 Cy Young award winners on your staff, then you're a complete numbskull. So you better be soaking it in. You better be trying to see what they're doing that's successful, or you ain't gonna be around, man. So just going to Atlanta, seeing how they did things over there compared to how we did things in Philly prior to that, it made so much sense and why they were successful. And I adopted that program and went on to the Rockies and tried to establish my own from there. But it was definitely a learning experience being able to be around such great talent and a great team like the Braves had from throughout the whole 90s.
Yes. Did you cross paths with Marquise Grissom there? Was Marquise there at that same time or a little later?
No, Marquise was on the Expos, right? And it's a funny story how we met anyway. When he first came up, I think it might have been 91 or 92. And he was a leadoff man, right? Little brother, I knew he probably had about 90 stolen bases that year. And the first time I faced him, he come, they got his walk-up song in Montreal, he taking his time, he tightening up his gloves, right? And I was like, get your little ass in the box. And he shouted right back out at me, man, do. I was like, all right, it's on now. So after that, I was like, hey, this brother got game right here. He ain't backing down. Found out he went to FAMU, came up through the HBC system as well. We kicked it ever since then, man. I mean, every time we was in Montreal, we went to dinner, hung out. And, he came on the Braves in 95. I was on the Rockies then. We never played on the Braves together. But we met up again down here when I first started coming down here in 2000 doing events with the Braves. He was down here. He was like, man, there's a lot of baseball down here. You'll really take off. down here in Atlanta, with the need and the hunger that these guys have. It was just a good opportunity. And plus that last snowstorm we had about 6 years ago, that was the backbreaker for me. I was like, hey man, y'all killing my golf scores, and I ain't getting no younger, so let me go down here to Atlanta. It was 79 today down here, so it gives me a chance to still play golf in January, February. But meeting up with Marquise, man, he become one of my best friends down here in the game of baseball, and we just we feed off each other. We did a clinic yesterday. We played golf the day before. So he a cool brother, man. And he doing some wonderful things down here in the community. I'm telling you, he going to be the next mayor when Keisha Lance Bottoms decide she don't want it no more. I think Marquise Grissom going to be the mayor because Hank Aaron then already dubbed him the next king and stuff down here. So I'm riding in this court. I told him, I said, you need a couple, when you run for mayor, you need a couple goons in the background. I'll stand back there with a black suit on. So, I'm going to be Secret Service for my man when he make it to the Black House.
Now, Marv, he has a son that goes to the mound, right? He has a son that goes to the mound?
Yeah, his son, Marquise Jr., he was expected to get drafted, but, they didn't want to pay the draft money that he deserved. So he at Georgia Tech now. And, Georgia Tech, I think they ranked 15th in the country in baseball. And he was up to 95, 96 miles an hour. When I first got down here, I started working with him maybe 5 years ago. And his mechanics was like not what they were now. And he's come so far. I did a transformation video of him on my Instagram just to show where he was then and where he is now. He went from probably 72 miles an hour to 96. And, he's in the mix over there at Georgia Tech as a freshman, and hopefully he'll get a lot of good field time in, get some experience, and looking for him, in the draft in a couple of years as well. Got my man JP Massey over at Minnesota. All these cats, man, 12, 13 years old. I was working with them. I'm seeing them now at 21, 22, and the things that I've talked about over the years with them, they continue to do, and they just putting themselves in a position that they got a chance. And that's what I want to do. I want to give guys information that's going to let them put themselves in a position to succeed. And if I've done that, I feel like I've passed on, the torch that I had passed to me, I passed it down to somebody else.
Absolutely, man. Give us some more future names of some people that are down there, that we can look for. And who to look some
I got
some dogs,
one for
man.
you. Cam Collier.
man,
yes, sir.
Yeah, oh man, this boy. Hey, look,
yes,
and y'all just talking about Cam as a hitter, but he's 93 off the bump too.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
That's what Jerry took. Jerry Flowers.
He looked.
Yeah.
Man, look. Cam. I call him the big amazing.
Really?
Because that boy is so smooth with it. Lou has done a wonderful job with the everyday training.
Kudos to Lou.
Balance of having him,
Lou.
find the love of the game, man. And Cam is a monster. He's a monster. He signed to go to Louisville, I think, or somewhere, but they ain't gonna see him. They ain't gonna see him over there.
No.
There's so many young guys, man, that I've run across, especially down here. I got some guys that's, throwing 95, 96, and they juniors and seniors in high school. So, it's so many cats, man. Again, in this game here, we got to really make sure that these guys are learning how to pitch as opposed to throwing, because I send so many guys in that was just hard throwers, and when they get in there, they don't get a chance to apply the pitching knowledge because they so far behind in the baseball IQ of pitching that they cut us loose faster than they would anybody else. If we don't go in there polished and ready to go, we're not gonna get 5 and 6 opportunities. So
you out of there.
You got to make it happen when you get there, man. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, man, it's been a real pleasure, a good one.
Man, thank you so much,
with us,
Mom.
man.
Thank you so much, bro.
You're gonna have to come. You got to come back. You got to come back, Mom.
I want to ask about these Rockies. I want to ask about the Colorado
to see.
Rockies.
What we on?
What'd you say?
Done?
I got a question about the Rockies, Bo. Let me squeeze in something about the Rockies. I want to ask you something about the Rockies.
Go ahead. I ain't done. I'm just. I thought, okay, I want to roll. We can break it up. What y'all want to do?
So Marv, the Rockies ballpark, Mile High. That's where you play, right? Mile High Stadium in Colorado.
Yeah, Mile High, and I played at Coors Field and Mile High. Mile High was when I first got to Colorado.
Now both of those ballparks are kind of notoriously hitters ballparks. The ball flies up out of there, right? It just flies up out of there. And so when I was reading up on you, kind of preparing for this, you hold a really unique record with Colorado. You are the ERA leader for the Colorado Rockies, 2.80. What was going on there? You able to keep it, just keeping it down? How's the ball not flying out of? What kind of change with you? This is after Atlanta. What's going on in Colorado?
Hitting people in the head.
Hey, you know what, man? As soon as I left Atlanta, I had watched Greg Maddox so much in '93. I was like, if I ever get to start, he just make it look so simple. He throw the little sinker. He throwing tons of strikes. He don't walk nobody. He always 0-2. If I could do that, I wonder what kind of year I would have, you know. Don't try because when I first came up, I wanted to be Doc Gooden. I'm going to strike out 300. I'm just going to bring the cheese and go, you know, and man, them dudes, you leave it up in the big leagues. I don't care how hard it is. They putting some hammer on you. When I got to Colorado and being at Mile High Stadium over Coors Field was a new park they built in 95. I got there in 94. They played on the old Denver Broncos stadium. It was like 290 to left field. So you could do a check swing and hit the ball out left field. So, but to right field, it was like 440 in the gap. So you could pitch to right field. Right. So I made all the lefties either try and pull the ball, and I tried to keep the ball down and away from righties so they could hit the ball on the ground. And I looked up, man, and it was the middle of July. I'm hoping I'm getting ready to make the All-Star team. I'm 10-1, and we end up going on strike that year.
And that was it. 94.
Went on strike. Yeah,
that was the strike year. Yeah, that was the strike year.
I got a chance.
Bill, I got the lowest ERA in Rockies history right now for a single season, and I'm letting them know on Twitter every time somebody.
Bill, you did your homework.
I'm like,
you did your homework, Bill.
I had to be ready for
your homework, Bill. Yeah, you did your homework. Hey, I had a witness. I witnessed a lot of those games. Marvin was setting the tickets out, baby. We had a call. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rockies,
Marv, we have
I had just got over there, man. So
we have a major, you know, on spring training is going on now. Opening day be coming up soon. We have the Cubs here. We have about 3 or 4. They have about 3 or 4 guys. Hendricks, Zach Davies. You have Alec Mills, who threw a no hitter last year. These guys throw 78, 80, 82. I don't think Kyle Hendricks gets above 86 much. Real soft toss and rotation. But the trend for most places is velocity. The Sox bring 5 guys out the bullpen throwing 100. Well, how
many of them had elbow? How many of them blew their elbows out?
All of them. All
3 or 4 of them.
So
So it's gonna be short term.
It's gonna be short term. They're just gonna burn through them. It's gonna be short term
when they got so many guys in the minors that's just fastball oriented that they like disposable lighters. You blow one out, you throw it away, you bring the next one up. But the guy like Hendricks, he gonna pitch 10, 15 years in the big leagues. And he gonna have a long career because he's not trying to max out on every pitch. Now, maxing out on every pitch, okay, if you're a reliever, you know, you can do that. You know, you're going to pitch 1 or 2 innings and, well, you used to. Now they're pitching guys every day. So, you know, the game is changing the way that they trying to bring as many big arms in the game as possible because you see a guy one time, it's hard to, you know, figure him out. But if they pitching you every day, you trying to throw the ball past them, you know, you ain't got no novelty no more. So you better have something like a secondary pitch. nasty changeup, some good control if you want to stay around. You know, a lot of these guys don't think longevity. They just thinking, hey, I'm out here today. I'm letting everything out today. And if I blow it out today, then maybe they'll give me a chance to, you know, get repaired and come back. The surgeries now are a lot different from when we had back when we was playing. You got Tommy John back in the 90s, you was pretty much out the game. Now these guys is having 2 and 3 Tommy Johns, so they, you know, I just can't see how they not learning from this, you know.
You had a surgery, didn't you?
I had back
Marvin,
surgery in '91. Yeah, I had.
You didn't
back
have arm surgery,
right? No arm surgery. My back surgery was, you know, herniated disc in the back. That's because, you know, hamstrings get tight. You start losing mobility when you get older, and you know, after I had the back surgery, we was getting ready to go to the playoffs in '91 then, and I was so, you know, hurt by the fact that I was gonna miss the playoffs. A week after I had back surgery, I was down in the bullpen trying to throw, man. The pitching coach, Leo, came down there. He was like, man, if you don't get your ass off this mound, you know, go in there, you're a cheerleader now. So I was reduced to a cheerleader in '91. So, you know, but that back surgery, and then I came back after that in '92, pitched in 65 games. So, you know, I had a good surgeon. They did a good job on me, and, you know, but now, you know, like you said, the officers, hopefully they're gonna make a comeback with pitching, because the games are so long. They're making 10 pitching changes every game. You know, everybody's swinging for the fence. You know, guys playing a shift, but guys can't make them hit it the other way because they can't locate a way. And so, you know, it's got to come back around, because it's gotten a little boring to me. You're going to strike out, or you're going to hit a home run. That seems to be the norm now. Ain't no more speed in the game, you know. Ain't nobody stealing no bases. Ain't nobody trying to, you know, play the game like it used to be played. It's being played like a video game now. So the Sega Genesis on TV, you know. But, you know, if you love baseball, you're going to find something in it that you're going to enjoy about it. You're going to find guys is bat flipping now. I'm like, man, you know, that was a smack in the face in my day, you know. But it's accepted now. Everybody want to do it. Everybody think it's okay. But if I'm pitching and it's the second inning and you hit a homer off me and you blowing kisses, running around the bases, I'm not waiting for you to come back up. I'm getting the next dude that come to bat, so he can talk to you in the dugout. Hey, man, he throwing at me.
Do that no
more.
more.
That you did, you know. So the game used to police itself. It don't do that no more. So they got slogans out. Let the kids play. You know, let them play. And I'm like, hey, you can let the kids play, but I'm a grown ass man, dog.
Right. Hey, since we on that, speak of throughout the major leagues, we had a few brothers, you know, from here, and by you being a pitcher, and 99.9% of them being hitters, man, I know you done faced everybody. Did you face Marvell? I know you faced Wesley. Face probably Kirby. I know you probably either practice game, something. I mean, come on, Trent. You know, Trent wasn't always on your team.
Chico,
Did you get everybody,
cats,
man?
Yep.
Chico, I forgot about Chico.
They was trying to get me. I had my boy Dave Clark from Jackson State. I used to face him. Charlie Hayes. You know, all my boys, man.
Charlie.
You know, and boy, they used to try to get me, boy. You know, we used to talk so much noise, man. You know, I got him, man. I got him, you know. But look,
I know you got him. I want you to
in that
say,
box.
I
don't care who you. I ain't got no. I don't really. Whoever up there, I'm trying to get. But if you my boy, I'm trying a little extra. I got a little something extra for you. You know, it was just like the brothers. You know, I knew what they was trying to do to me. The same thing I'm trying to do to them. Not get embarrassed. Absolutely. And you know, when I got a chance to face guys that I knew, they knew what I was trying to do, because we talked about it the day before. Well, when I get you up there, dog, I'm gonna blow heat, and then I throw you 5 sliders, you know. Or I'm gonna throw you all sliders, and I try to sneak a fastball. So my mental game was strong back then as well. So, you know, it just worked out that I execute the pitches, man. But them guys wasn't in the big leagues because they liked them. They was up there because they could play. So it was always fun.
Right.
facing your boys. And then the most fun was seeing them after the game, so you can rub it in. So that was the joy, taking it back to the streets of Chicago and the strikeout days.
Right. That's good business, man. Hey, back to you with the kids, man. Tell the people about what's really going on with the foundation and what you got going on for the future, for this year, for 2021.
Yeah, last year, the pandemic threw everything, took the monkey wrench and everything, and so we had to kind of lay back and restructure the things that we were doing. But our mission remains the same, Bo Reb, Bill. We trying to touch guys that are underserved, not so much underprivileged, underserved, guys that can't get the information, guys that can't get to play in these big tournaments because they might lack funds. My foundation, we subsidize tournament fees. We try and sponsor kids school fees. We're gonna do a laptop giveaway this year as well. But again, we strictly nonprofit, and so our exposure is what gets us the resources for us to be able to do these things. I visit a lot of public high schools down here and just talk to these teams and pitchers and just try and get the word out that I'm in the community now. I'm in Atlanta. I'm back here where I played at. I can kind of branch that Braves experience with what I'm doing now as far as the instruction and the lessons and stuff. And we work with the RBI program, Marquise Grissom. I kind of joined his program as well. So we had our first bowling event last year, raised some money for things that we're going to do. I sponsored 10 kids and gave them free pitching training for 3 months last year on the foundation. And that went over really well because most of those guys, I really make sure that their academic standing is what I monitor the most, and that's what keeps them having the ability to come back. If they had to provide their progress reports, I talked to some of their counselors and made sure that they were doing the things in school that they need to do. So really just being a mentor and a coach that's going to give them some valuable information that can help them get to the college level, and then apply some of these work codes and work ethics in life to give these guys the ability to compete. Now, again, we all know what situation the world is in now. So only thing we can do is what we can. And when things kind of open back up and change, we're gonna come with it again. So right now I'm just doing a lot of coaching and mentoring and things of that nature because that's what we're down to. But it was a great idea. My wife came up with the foundation 3 years ago. She said, "You do all this stuff, you paying for kids to do this stuff out of your own pocket. Why don't you go ahead and start a foundation, get some sponsorship behind you and get some help, because you can't do it all on your own." Mm-hmm. So that's what she it's really her baby. I'm just the name on the front of it, and I'm the guy that goes out and does all the leg work. But she's the mind behind it, and it was something that she really was passionate about. So we're just gonna take it as far as we can take it, man. Hopefully help somebody out along the way, and that'll be our contribution, our legacy, and that's what we can do, man. We can do what we can do, and we can't do what we can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Well, this has definitely been a good one, man. For sure, you're gonna have to come back. We can go on and on and on.
Maybe when the season starts up, Marvin. Once the season starts up, because I know you're really connected to the game, and let us know what's happening down there with Cam Collier, what's happening with Marquise's son at Georgia Tech, and maybe we even talk some MLB ball. I would love that, man.
And then we also want to get you on there with your CVS boys.
Oh,
who is that,
yeah, absolutely, man. Mm-hmm. I say I got my man.
We're gonna get y'all because they went undefeated.
Player, he at Duke.
Okay,
at Duke, and
that's the big guy, right?
He's throwing 94. Yeah. No, Kyle, the little guy, little lefty, went to HF.
Okay. I think I went
played
to
for the
high school with
Sox,
his
and
dad.
Oh, yeah,
Sox
yeah, yeah,
drafted
I'm
him
up
out of
on.
high school.
Yeah.
Right. I went to high school with his dad, Chris
Yeah, and
South.
I had him since he was a young kid too. Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. So
Okay.
a lot of these little guys, man, they trying to find their way through this system and make their way through it. And by me being a black pitcher, making it up to the top, I can give them some things that I went through. And again, it's on and on, man. It's on till we can't go no more. But yeah, it was
Good.
it was a lot of fun, man. And I told guys, you know, I could be on here every week if you want me on. If I got time,
Okay.
I got something to say. I'm down.
Good to have you on hand.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe you can help us get
Put my
DeMarlo,
cartoon picture up on that thing right there.
We're gonna have you an avatar up there. You gotta help me get DeMarlo, man. Tell DeMarlo we gotta talk to him, man. Tell DeMarlo I know you're reaching for me, man. But Marvin, this has been a pleasure. And once again, man, Chicagoland Baseball Chronicles people, we got the legendary Marvin Freeman.
Thank you so much, bro.
My name is Bo Rab, and this is my man Bill. And we gonna, hey man, peace it out with you guys for Marvin. Thanks again, Marvin. Marvin Freeman Baseball
on, baby.
Foundation.
Let me hold my J State up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got you. We're gonna do it. Marvin Freeman in the house, y'all. See this Marvin Freeman in the house.
One love.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all.
Yes, sir.
It's been a good one, y'all. Thanks, Free. Stay here for a minute, man.
All right, man.
Okay.
Bill, Bo Rab, y'all